Howdy folks, John here. In today's video we're going to be finishing up with Big Red, the Roban EC130. For those of you who've been following along with this Scale RC helicopter build series, you know in the last video we were out at the flying field and this thing was flying fairly well. It needed a few little tweaks which have been addressed, and there was one scale detail remaining, and that was the pilot I was going to be putting in this thing. So I'm going to quickly show you that while these packs are finishing charging up here. Then we'll head out to the field, get this thing airborne, and I'm going to give you some final thoughts on it and the Fenestron tail. For anyone who's seen my Roban AS350 video, you know I used a G.I. Jane doll in it, and I decided to do the same thing with the EC130. G.I. Janes, you can still pick these up on eBay for not too much money, you know, 30, 40 bucks. They're getting a little harder to find though, but it's a decent looking pilot for the price. You know, it's certainly a lot less than if you pick up a Scale pilot from one of the Scale helicopter places. You know, I've seen prices ranging from $130 up to $250. So getting a G.I. Jane is certainly a cost-saving way to do it. Problem is she's a little bit too big. G.I. Jane is about 1/6 scale. Ideally this helicopter probably 1/7 scale. Problem with the Robans is the anti-torque pedals are so close to the seat, so you have to have short legs and a rather long torso. So what I did is I 3D printed up a body. I utilized the head, the uniform of course, the hands and the boots, but the body is custom sized to the helicopter seat and the helicopter itself. And I also put a little cutout in the top so I can mount a little micro servo and have the actual pilot's head move. Which looks pretty cool, adds some fun scale detail. Of course you can't see it when the helicopter's up in the air, but when it's static on the ground, or if you put a camera inside the helicopter, you can certainly see it. And the other advantage with 3D printing a body is you can make them really light. Her whole weight with the chair, 160 grams. Let's take a look. Okay, I lied, 162 grams. Pilot is installed, head is working fine. So I've got the head servo here hooked up to channel 8 on my receiver, and I've mixed channel 8 into both my tail rotor and my cyclic roll. So I guess all that's left now is to go flying. See you out at the field. I'm going to let the helicopter and the scenery do most of the talking. I'll mention a few things as I think of them. This is actually the 22nd flight I've had on it, so I'm getting pretty comfortable with it. Dialed out most of the little issues. I'll apologize for any air sickness from the shaky camera. The GoPro mount I had stuck to the ceiling, the adhesive was getting weak, and a little bit more play in there than I was expecting. But got some usable footage. And the exterior footage here is being recorded with a Solo Shot Optic 65 GPS tracking camera. Did a fairly good job at keeping it in frame and focus. No question, very impressed with how this big behemoth flies. Just a joy to pilot. So really couldn't be happier for my first attempt at a Fenestron build. It's one smooth flying bird. And I suppose what I'm most impressed with or surprised with is just how good the tail authority is. I was pretty worried when I got it, thinking that all the negative comments about it that I was reading would hold true, but not the case at all. Now here I'm doing some nose forward pirouettes, or very shallow funnels, if you care to call them that, going against main rotor torque. And there's just tons of tail rotor thrust. I'm only holding in about half stick here. Geez, Jane, you better stop this. It's getting busy. You're gonna lose your lunch. There we go. Sun's just about ready to dip behind the mountain ridge there. One disappointment with this kit is how poor the exterior lights are. You know, it's getting fairly dusky out, and I actually went for a flight after this one, after the sun had set behind that ridge, and can hardly see any of the exterior lights, at least from any distance. The only one I can see there is the tail light that I put in, that little white one on the top of the tail fan. So over the winter I'm going to have to probably pull out all the exterior lights and put in a better lighting kit. For any who watched the last video of this, where I had that low governor gain issue, it was at 20. I dialed it up to 28. I've since dialed it up to 33, and it's much better now. There, my sync rate was a little faster than I wanted it to be, and even though I slightly over-pitched the main rotor there, didn't have any loss of tail rotor effectiveness. Good tail authority there. RPM didn't decay too much. Certainly didn't mean to go mowing the lawn here. Pretty hazy in the old valley today. Been getting a lot of smoke up the Rocky Mountain Trench from, I think it's the fires in Washington and Oregon. What a beautiful evening though. I love the autumn. Most of the bugs have left or been killed. We haven't had a killing frost yet. Geez, that thing looks good. So, if you're thinking of getting a Roban EC130, pair them with a strong tail servo. They work well. Not the best landing. Thanks for watching, folks, and until next time, happy flights.